Yo, 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 what's up? It's your boy Brian, and I'm with my boy Gavin, Bleacher Boys Sports Podcast. Don't know what episode this is, but it doesn't matter anymore. Gavin, brother, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Just vibing. Ready for the holiday coming up next week, and just living life, man. How about you?
I'm good, brother. Just trying to. It's been like toasty. Like, like I don't know if there's been much of a difference between Memphis and growing up in Florida. Just how the heat index every day last week was like 90, 96 to 99, and then but it felt like 105 to 109 outside every day. And I'll say this before because I want to know what your plans are for Fourth of July and all that. I went to my and I don't think any of my wife's side of the family watches the podcast except for my son, and he won't care. I think so. I went to a 6U coach pitch game, All Stars game in South
Okay.
on on Thursday. Why are All Stars? Period. One. Why are All Stars being played in the middle of the day during the middle of the week, late June? It is
Yeah.
it is way too hot for 6, 8, 10, 12-year-old kids to be playing all-star level ball during the day. That's one. Two, why are you playing during the day in the middle of the week for 6U or 8U? These games mean absolutely nothing. And I went so my I've played at this ballpark before with my daughter when she was 16U and 18U, and we never had. Granted, it was travel ball, but we never had that. Both sides of the park were completely jam packed. The parking lots were. It was like they were parking on the street, and it's a very vast ballpark out there at Greenbrook and South Haven. But I was telling a lot of my clients I would struggle. I mean, obviously, if I had a 6 year old or 8 year old, I probably would be coaching their team. But I would, and I'm a personal trainer, so this probably would directly affect me. But if dude, if I'm a salaried worker or I have a job or I have a career, I
Mm-hmm.
would not want to use one of my vacation days or sick days to go watch my 6 year old strike out 3 times
Yeah.
in 190-degree weather on a Thursday at 12 o'clock. Her games were at 12 and 3:30 on the Thursday.
Yeah. No, dude, it's nuts.
Is that ridiculous, or are we on the same page on this?
No, we're on the same page, dude. It's absolutely nuts. Like, and if I see one more Facebook post of a parent like, "Oh, my son got picked for 6U perfect game All American team
Yeah,
select blue," like,
yeah,
who gives a shit?
yeah.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Like, I can tell you, like, when that kid is 16 years old, he doesn't care. And if he does care, that kid's getting bullied every day and thrown in a trash can. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Uh,
and even better than this, this is Bolivar, Tennessee. So I think it was the 8U's boys team coach pitch.
mhm.
My wife saw a Facebook post because I'm not Facebook friends with hardly anybody out here in Hardin County. My wife saw a Facebook post, and my wife is like me; she thought it was ridiculous. So they posted the coach of the team put a congratulatory post on how the team did and announced they had 3 boys from their team make the all tournament team.
Okay.
And it was, I mean, he congratulated all the kids on making all stars. You know, their team, they were like a couple outs from making it to the state tournament. This is Dizzy Dean League, by the way. This is not even Little League. This is not even the Cal Ripken League. It's Dizzy Dean. Shout out to Dizzy Dean Leagues. So they, he makes a Facebook post congratulating everybody, shout out everybody, shout out to all their sponsors, named everybody that helped out, contributed. This parent goes underneath the first comment and just lays into this coach that he thought it was BS. His son didn't make the team. And there's basically it was a conspiracy why his son didn't make the team, and
Jesus
he didn't have
Christ.
the he had the stats and blah blah blah. And then so the coach replied back into it and like gave like logical reasons why like his son probably the coach had no pick in the all tournament team, but gave
Yeah.
logical reasons why he didn't make it and blah blah blah. And he was like, "Man, we talk about this in person." Basically, the dude was like, "When I see you in person, it's on site." And so like the parent is like ready to fight the coach over his son not making all tournament team, even though his son hit like fifth and started every game. So it's not like
Yeah.
he didn't get opportunities.
Yeah, no, the parents are delusional. I mean, we'll just call a spade a spade. Parents are delusional. Everybody thinks their son's the next Derek Jeter, and it's parents are delusional. I, this is a hot take, and this might get me canceled, but when bullying and all that shit came out of schools is when we started to get this culture of everybody gets a trophy. Like, I don't know, man. I was bullied, like. I mean, everybody was. Everybody got picked on. Like, what are we talking about? And we want to coddle these kids. Like, I don't know, man. Hopefully, we don't get canceled for that. But if so, I mean, I'll die on that hill. Like, we got to bring back the tough, nitty gritty kids. And I think a lot of people our age that are starting to get, where we're kind of at. You have half and half. You got like the people that think a lot like me and you, we want our kids to be tough and we want them to, be ready for life. We don't want to coddle them. And then you got the other half that is like, no, like everybody deserves a fair chance. Like, no, like, yeah. So anyway, that's a soapbox for another day.
No, man, you're 100% right, and I think along the same wavelengths. And I can even say I didn't have any boys like this, because of course I didn't coach travel baseball as long as I did travel softball. But it's night and day difference, and the very few people who listen to this who uh, I coach their kids who listen to this, they attest to this too. The five most difficult players I coached, who had by far the five most difficult parents.
Mm-hmm.
All of those like these are girls that are already in college because they were all older than my daughter. My daughter was the youngest girl on the team by 1 to 3 to 2 to 1 school years.
Uh-huh.
All those girls crashed and burned their freshman year of college.
Yeah.
And it was like two of them were grades, and girls do way better in college sports when it comes to academics than boys do. So two girls crash out from grades. The other three crash out in fall ball. One of them didn't even make it to the spring roster. It was so bad in the fall, and the other two just crashed and burned throughout the season because they couldn't get on the field and couldn't get along with teammates and couldn't get along with coaches and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff, if you would have bet me $1,000 on my next paycheck when they were in travel ball, I would have said those five girls 100% wouldn't have made it past their sophomore year in college just because of how. And the girls honestly weren't that bad, but the
It's
parents.
the parents.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
parents, dude. It's always the parents. Like
yeah.
I mean, I did it in college. I mean, college baseball, it's still the parents. I mean, I don't know I don't know when the mindset shifted as a parent. I mean, I'm not a parent. And maybe one day I'll be fortunate enough to, be one if I'm blessed. But I mean, you talk about like anytime I ever got in trouble, and I'm sure it was the same way for you. Anytime I ever got in trouble, it was always, what did you do? What did your dumb ass do to get in trouble?
Yeah,
Now it's what's somebody else's fault.
yeah,
Like what? Like no, like your kid's a piece of shit. Like it's okay. Like beat his ass. Like I mean, I couldn't imagine like doing that tournament team or whatever. Like my father would have been like, "Well, you suck. Like you didn't make the tournament team. You suck. Like that's on you." Like it wouldn't have been like somebody else's fault. It would have been my fault.
exactly.
But
Yeah, enough on that. But
yeah, neither here nor there.
yeah.
We'll get off our soapbox, everybody.
But man, let's get on subject. Oh no, before we get on subject, what do you have planned for 4th of July weekend?
Oh man, we're gonna go hit Savannah, me and M, and then mom, dad, and aunt. We're all gonna go over there for the weekend, man. We're gonna go over Friday, I think, through Monday. We'll come back Monday. Just gonna go over there, play a little bit of golf, man. M's never been to Savannah, so we were looking at a couple different places like Savannah, Charleston, and it's all of our birthdays too. So like my dad is actually tomorrow, and then my mom is the second, mine's the third, and then their wedding anniversary is also on the third. So it's like Christmas in July. And so as well as I do, man, playing baseball, like we didn't do anything for birthdays. Like
Yeah,
birthdays were spent at the baseball field. And so I tried to tell I'm like, like we don't like babe, we don't do anything. Like I've always spent a birthday at the baseball field. Like this will be the first time that we've ever gone somewhere and done something because usually we're chilling at the ball field and I'm sweating my balls off and that's about it. Like that's a birthday in the Murphy household. So it'll be fun, man. What about you guys? What you guys got?
I think my brother-in-law, he has a river lot on the Tennessee River,
Okay.
and Savannah, Tennessee area.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, they're in Savannah. And so he hit us up a day or two ago. So we're going to be going to hang out with them.
Okay, that's dope.
Do the old fireworks thing, grill out, I'm sure. I don't know if we'll be getting on, he has a boat, but I don't know if we'll be getting on the boat and be sure there'll be a good amount of people there. And
Yeah.
me and my wife, although we love being on the boat, we're not one of the people that get fighting to be on the boat because even like last week I saw a Snapchat and there was like way too many people on the boat. And it's just, his boat isn't that big where it's like 15 people can be just chilling on the boat and be comfortable.
Then you throw your big ass on there. I don't know.
Yeah. And I don't
So
even have
that's
a
a lot
life
of
jacket.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of man.
Yeah. And I'm no longer, I've found out about 5, 6 years ago, I'm no longer buoyant either. And I found out about 3 years ago. So it was like 3 Augusts ago. One of my old bodybuilding coaches, he has a beautiful boat, it's like a 300K boat. And he took me and some of my buddies or our buddies water skiing.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I tried for a good 30 minutes and my hip flexors are too tight and I'm not buoyant. And he had these like $400 life jackets, so it wasn't a life jacket. But man, I just could not. I could get up, but I just couldn't get up and get going. And then it, it was I was so wore out after like 15, 20 minutes, just
Yeah.
like fighting the water, fighting the current, and trying to hold onto the rope and all that. And I was sore the next day. It was a workout. So
Yeah.
I go out there, I chill, give me about 5, 6 burgers, some margaritas, some tequila, and like I'm good to go. So I'm sure it'll be a lot of that and some fireworks
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, man, that sounds like a plan. That sounds like a plan for
for
sure.
sure. And I'm trying. I think I told you I'm trying to tune up to play in the Olive Branch Open July 19th.
Okay.
I got a good buddy of mine. He's actually a former college baseball player. Except Jarrett Smith. He's from the Cordova, Germantown area. He went to Houston High School. Same
Okay.
place Matt Cain went to.
Yeah.
His younger brothers and wife, or his younger brother and his younger brother's wife, JM and Amanda, they're my powerlifting clients. So I met Jared through them, but Jared played D2 ball. He coaches travel ball now. He's a pitcher. He does pitching and hitting lessons. He's a big kid. Well, he's a big dude himself. I think he's so JM's like 26, so Jared should be like 30 himself.
Okay.
Uh, but he probably golfs. I think he said he plays like once a week and he's practicing like twice a week. So he's a pretty avid golfer. So we're
Yeah.
we're gonna try to get in there in the OB Open. I think that's July 19th. So I'm trying to
Where's that at?
at Timber Trust.
Oh, are they doing it at Timber?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I that'll be my first ever tournament or scramble like of any form. So but I think the 2 Thursdays leading up to that,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you're gonna go
try
out
to
there and
play
play.
I'm gonna play in the local scramble where I live in Hardeman County,
Okay.
to try to get in, just get some real like playing time and get my pace up and all that kind of stuff. So I've got my swing, my mid range, and my putting is for what I am is pretty dialed in.
Uh-huh.
So my goal has just been keeping the ball straight off the drive.
Yeah.
Like I can hit it 250 to 290 straight, like I'm good to go.
Yeah.
I've been crushing them 330 plus with ease, like the power wise, but it's like 1 out of 5 is staying straight. So I'm just
Yeah.
trying to take a little bit off, keep it straight, keep it down the fairway so I can have playable balls to actually be a decent golf player.
Yeah. Absolutely. No,
All
it's
right,
a tough
brother.
game, man. It's a tough game. Let's get going. Let's get cooking. Let's do this.
So the past week we had NBA draft. And I'm sure you're like me, I like drafts of any sort. Love the baseball draft every year. NFL draft is probably the biggest event out of all of them. I still love the NBA draft. It is some years it's harder to follow than others just because there's players coming out of the G League. It's not even the international players because even the international players they give us a good enough foundation of where who they are, where they're coming from. Even like Wemby a couple years ago, we knew
Uh-huh.
about Wemby for a couple years before he got there. But a lot of these guys that are still wanting to go to the G League, they're a little bit harder to follow, and you kind of hear about them like maybe in the pre-draft workouts a
Uh-huh.
little bit, and then like maybe in a pregame show. And these are guys that end up starting in the NBA Amin Thompson and Asura Thompson, like both of those G League guys that destroyed the G League for a year before coming to the NBA. But it was still a good NBA draft. I will say, I don't know. Did you get to watch the NBA draft?
Not much, man. I didn't get. I was trying to keep up with it on my phone and just didn't get. Yeah.
So two takeaways. One, ESPN 2 drafts in a row because they had the NFL draft and they had the NBA draft. 2 drafts in a row. They had one dude that stole the show in a negative way that like took away from like the quality and appeal of the show. It was
Hmm.
Mel Kiper staying on his Shador rant in the
Yeah.
NFL draft, and it was Kendrick Perkins mispronouncing multiple players' names throughout the draft. It was like ESPN, you have all this talent of
Yeah.
people you could pull from, and I get it, Kendrick, because of his comments and his takes. Sometimes he's a good guy to take on, but it's like, can we just get somebody who can enunciate like basic player names? Like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's that difficult to do, or
Mm.
just like keep Kendrick on there, but like have somebody like a Ernie Johnson do the
Yeah.
legwork for him that
Yeah.
maybe has a background degree in journalism. Uh,
Yeah.
the second thing was multiple players in the top 15. They draft a player, they announce the team, and they hand them the wrong hat.
Really?
You could probably put together a decent compilation of, I think it happened like 3 or 4 picks. They announce the team and the draft pick, and then they hand the guy the wrong hat.
And yeah, that's bad. That's not good.
Yeah. Oh, but we'll get to the thing that kind of stole the show,
Hmm.
other than Cooper Flagg, and we have this situation with Ace Bailey, out of Rutgers, super talented kid. Some think he's slightly overrated. Some think he'll be a solid all-star level player. But Ace Bailey went fifth pick to the
Hmm.
Utah Jazz.
Yep.
Now, to set this up, Ace Bailey did not work out for a lot of teams because he
Hmm.
flat out told them, I don't want to play for the city. I'm not working out for you. Basically, don't draft me. Uh,
Hmm.
and this was even more pronounced in all the Bronny James clutch sports type situation from last year. Uh, so he gets drafted by Utah, and he does his little presser when he gets drafted, but he doesn't show up to the Utah press conference after. And then he's yet to show up, and I believe the draft was on Wednesday. So he is still has yet to show up even to Utah to participate or show up or do any formal post draft ceremonious things with the organization, and it's a huge ordeal. Mind you, every other draft pick has that night got on a private jet and was there the next morning,
But yeah.
their jersey signing, press conference, photo shoots, the whole nine. So man, knowing that, what is your take? What is your outlook on this whole Ace Bailey thing?
Ah, man, I think it goes back to kind of what we were talking about earlier, to really start this show. It's a different generation, man. It's a different breed for sure. You know, you're talking about you're a top 5 pick and you're not gonna go play in the NBA. So what have you wasted the last 18 years for? I saw one thing where it could have been a meme. I'm not putting much weight into it, but somebody said that he's already reached out to his agent saying that he's retiring from the NBA. And it's like, bro, like, come on, dude. But with that being said, like, I don't get it. Like, you work your whole life and then you get an opportunity to go into this league and, you know, show off who you are and, you know, potentially turn a franchise around, and you're just going to be like, nah, piss on that. Like, I'm not doing it. And you're a top 5 pick. Like, you're going to get paid. And you're just going to say no. Like, I don't know, man. And it goes back, like, it really started, and a lot of people forget this, but, like, I believe the first one to really do it was what, Elway? Was it Elway that really did it, where he said, no, I'm not going to go play
Yeah,
for Baltimore? Is that
yeah.
who it was? And then ends up going to Denver and all that. But it's just, I don't know. It's this culture that we live in now where these kids think that they have all of this power, and I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's setting the future up for a downhill trajectory, if you want me to be honest with you.
So, for one, I don't know if you remember Ricky Rubio,
Hmm.
who was first round draft pick. I think the Timberwolves had 2 first round draft picks, like the first round that year, like in the top 12 picks. And
Mm-hmm.
Ricky, who was a young, because Ricky had already kind of like Luca had already been playing professional Euroball since he was like 14 or 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got drafted, he told the Timberwolves not necessarily that he wouldn't come play for the Timberwolves, but just he was not ready to come over in those circumstances. So he got drafted and he played another year in Europe and then came over.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of on the basketball side, that was really one of the kind of the first power moves. But again, Ricky was already making money. He was already a professional, a young professional. But again, we're in the NIL era now, and I'm not sure how much Ace Bailey made in college. I'm sure it was a pretty penny. I think another thing that we saw it in the NFL, like Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see it more and more with. I think that was a big reason why Shador treated the draft process how he did. He was like, "I'm already paid," and I saw an interesting. Somebody made an interesting point about Shador that the way he was raised and the way he's always been treated by his dad and his support team is that Shador treated the NFL draft process like he was being recruited,
Mm-hmm.
is that he's going in for like a job interview,
Mm-hmm.
which obviously his gross misinterpretation of that cost him dearly. And we'll see how that plays out. But man, even kind of having foresight, if you want to say, hey Ace, like at a minimum, you go play for Utah and ball out for 2 to 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I get it because I saw some people saying, trying to defend him, saying, well, he's from inner city, zone 4, Atlanta, and
Mm-hmm.
he's going to Utah. And it's like, Utah, from in kind of a bland city, this, that, and the other. But it's like, dude, you make decent money in your first contract, especially being a top 5 pick. But the generational wealth is really in your second contract.
Yeah.
Really, in the NBA can really be after 3 years. Because I gave you a great example. Paolo Banchero got paid after his second year because you can
Mm-hmm.
sign extensions very early in the NBA. It's not like the NFL. So Paolo signed after his second year. I know Cade Cunningham after his third year signed an extension. Of course, more famous people like LeBron, Carmelo, Dwayne, like all those guys signed extensions after their second and third year because the franchise knew this is our guy. We want to go ahead and pay him, take care of him, and get him for cheaper now versus having to wait till the contract ends and having to break the bank even more later on. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, dude, you go ball out for 2 years in Utah, and you're either going to get paid and or you're going to be great trade value to go to a winning franchise and get out of
Yeah.
there. It's
Absolutely.
like, dude, go. You're not in a system. It's like go play the game and bet on yourself and just show up to Utah.
Uh-huh.
And I get it. Like these guys still have a lot of free time, and it's like he's probably thinking like, what am I gonna do in Utah with the 4 or 5 hours of extra daylight I have a day to do after I've trained, practiced, done my prehab stuff, and looked over film. I still have 5 hours a day during with daytime left. Like, what do I do with that time in Utah? Like, dude, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're getting paid to do a job, do that job and figure it out from there.
Well, let's just call a spade, dude. You'd rather be in Utah than Atlanta with everybody that you grew up with a handout. I mean, let's just be brutally honest. Like, where did you want to go? You wanted to go to Atlanta? Come on, dude. Like, and that's where it goes back to like these people, like these kids, man. They got to have people in their corners that really, really care about them and want them to succeed. Because if you don't, man, you're gonna get in a situation like where people are just coming out of the woodwork. Like, hey, man, remember that time I gave you $20? Like, yeah, I do. Like, I gave it back to you. Well, yeah, well, it collected interest even though you paid it back, and now it's 200,000. Like, come on, man. Like, so I don't know. It's interesting to see it. I don't know what I think about it. I think he should just go and play, like you said. Go and play, get your generational wealth, and then on your second contract and be done with it. And I don't think, I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, Utah's not awful. I mean, they're not great, but they still got some, there's some pieces around there. I mean, Walker Kessler's not a bad big man. You got Jordan Clarkson, who is a spark plug, in my opinion, who can pop off for a 25 ball any given night. Who else is still there? You got Lauri Markkanen, who was supposed to be the next great white hope. He hasn't panned out, but that is what it is.
Colin
So
Sexton got traded today.
Oh, did he really? Who did he
Yeah.
get traded to?
For Yusuf Nurkic.
Really? So Sexton's now going to be in Portland. Is Portland? Am I right in that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe so.
But yeah, there's not like I don't know, man. Like I don't know, and who knows who's in Ace Bailey's ear telling him like, oh, you don't want to be in Utah, man. Utah sucks. Like you, like of course, like hindsight's 2020. But you take out Michael Jordan, Utah probably wins what 3 champs, three chips,
At least 2.
at least 2, probably 3.
Yeah.
I mean, let's. So I don't know.
And they've had decent organizational success even post Malone and Stockton.
Yeah, look before Coach.
Yeah, you had the Andre Karolinko year. They were in the Western Conference a couple times with him, and then you had the Donovan Mitchell team.
Yeah, with Rudy Gobert.
Huh?
With Rudy Gobert. Yeah,
exactly.
COVID never happens. That team might be something to mess with. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. I will tell you though, it's a weird time in the NBA right now. You got a lot of the Eastern Conference is wide open. You have the Celtics who are. I hate saying this, but it looks like a soft rebuild. And as bad as I hate to say this, even more, we've already dealt off Drew Holiday and Porzingis. And I really do think, honest to God, like Derek White, Jaylen Brown, in that order are up next.
Yeah, 100%.
Which the shocker, the one that wouldn't surprise me, but I think would surprise some other people would be Peyton Pritchard. I could see him being on the block if they get a good deal for him. But, I mean, this year as a Celtics fan is going to suck. I mean, it's going to suck, dude. Like, it just is what it is. Like, Tatum's down, like, ruptured the Achilles. Like, it's going to be an ash year. Like, take me back to 2011 where we just are absolute booty cheek ass buns. And I'll just watch the games and chalk it up every night till we suck.
What I hope, even as a Magic fan, by the way, there's some betting sites to have the Magic at really good odds to be in the Eastern Conference Finals next year. But,
you ready for my hot take real quick before you go on this?
Yeah.
Here's my hot take. Eastern Conference Finals. You ready?
Yeah.
Atlanta Hawks, Magic. I'm calling it right now. If Porzingis stays healthy, Atlanta Hawks, Magic. I'm telling you. And
that would actually be very good because I watched every Hawks Magic game this year, I think except for one, and they were all highly contested and very chippy. But to finish what I was saying, I hope for the Celtics that, and I don't think this will happen because I think they will nail this kind of soft reboot that I think is kind of on the cusp or inevitable for them. But I just hope that what happens with Tatum and the situation in his team, because he's going to be the guy that stays. I think through all this is that this isn't a Paul George Pacer situation where Paul George snaps his leg, playing for Team USA, misses the whole year. They did a soft reboot. They let some guys go. When he comes back, they have a good team, but not enough. And then Paul George is like, hey, I got to get out of here. This is not enough. I can't beat LeBron and Wade and Bosh. Like, let me move to greener pastures and try to figure this out somewhere else. And Tatum, I don't think Tatum would go anywhere because he's not going to make any more money, and he's kind of the king of Boston right now. It could be, I mean, he still has enough time in his career. He can land somewhere between the 5th and 1st best Celtic of all time. It would take a lot for him to be the 1st or 2nd best Celtic of all time because you're talking multiple MVPs and multiple titles there. But even still to be the 3rd, 4th, or 5th best Celtic of all time would still be a big deal when you're talking about a short list of just the Celtics and the Lakers of the lineage of players that have come through there. But that's my only hope, that this iteration of the Celtics team doesn't turn into that Pacers team. And I don't think that will happen, but I hope that's not what happens.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I mean, I hope not. I mean, but we just got to wait and see. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, Tatum has, and this is, you'll be behind me on this statement. Tatum has enough left in his career and a legitimate chance. I would say a more than likely chance to get his number hung in those rafters.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
So I think this year is going to be interesting, and I don't want to get on a Celtics rant. We can do it another time, but I think it's going to be really interesting to see Jaylen Brown, and see if he's going to prove all these people right or wrong. There's a lot of people that said, "Oh, he could do it without Tatum. Oh, he can do this, he can do that." I would love to see it. I would absolutely love to see it, and then I'd love to get a haul for him after next year. Absolutely, don't. Hey, you're not going to hurt my feelings. Like I love Jaylen Brown, but you're not going to hurt my feelings on a haul like a rebuild like OKC. I'm good with that. Let's ride. So, anyway, that's neither here nor there. We'll have to see how it shakes out.
All right, brother. Next topic coming out of the NBA draft is something that everybody's covering, but I like touching it too because we've watched this kid. He's kind of like Zion. He's kind of been on the basketball scene for 3-4 years, thanks to social media. I remember, I think, seeing him for the first time like three and a half years ago when he was playing for his travel ball team in Maine. Then he played for that team, went viral. And then I saw a lot of clips and games for him playing Montverde Academy.
Yeah.
And of course, he was a kind of a do-it-all, kind of a Tatum type for Duke last year.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit even more of a Swiss knife, Army knife. Tatum was a little bit more of a like pure scorer at Duke, where I just feel like Cooper Flagg was more of like he was an A- at everything across the board, which is I think has a ton of value. And he has a lot of size and explosiveness, and he also seems to have like a very sturdy body because he's not skinny. He's tall, he's long, but he's not skinny or lanky at all. He has good size to him. He actually has a body closer to like Paolo, who Paolo has some meat on it. I'll be interested to know how much Cooper Flagg weighs because I bet it's closer to 250, 245 to 255, very similar to like how Paolo is. Because yes, he has pretty thick legs too. But what do you think is realistic for Cooper in year one, and what do you expect from him in the Mavericks, knowing that Kyrie more than likely will be out at least until the All-Star break next year?
Yeah, no, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I could see a playoff run. I see the playoffs. I mean, they're built to win now,
Yeah.
especially with the Cooper Flagg pick. You know, I compared a lot. Okay, so like when Wemby got drafted, right, to San Antonio. San Antonio wasn't a built to win. There were no pieces. You had Devin Vassell, and that's really it in San Antonio. So Wemby was like your messiah. Now, and granted, the NBA is rigged. We can just go ahead and we can establish that now. But with that being said, like I think Dallas is built to win now with AD, even without Kyrie. I think there are some pieces there that they can absolutely. I don't see a chip. I don't see a chip. Crazier things have happened, but I don't see a chip. I see a first round win and a second round exit. Maybe even like a play-in win, and then a first round exit type deal. If I'm making sense, if you're tracking what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, dude, I think it's going to be interesting. I think Cooper Flagg is kind of a Swiss Army knife. I think a lot of people kind of hate on him. I don't want to say hate on him, but I think a lot of people are like, yeah, he's just mid. But here's the thing, like, and Brian Scalabrine, like that, I love the White Mamba, like he's hilarious. But when he's giving this kid as much props as he is, and that man will literally go play anybody in a one-on-one, and it does not matter, and he will tell you like to your face, you suck at basketball. Like I may have not been like an all-star, but I'm good for the NBA, like whatever. And he's giving this kid props, like that says something, I think. So yeah, I think Dallas is built for a playoff run. I don't see a chip this year. But yeah, give me your thoughts. I want to hear what you think about it.
Well, one question to follow it up, and I'll give you my thoughts. Is he your favorite for Rookie of the Year?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, how do you say no? I mean, you come in with that much hype around you. I mean, I think he has to be. Where did Walter Clayton go? He didn't go. Where did he go?
Jazz.
Did he go to the Jazz?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's already been working out there.
Yeah, no shit. That kid just wants to play ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think he's got to be unless there's somebody that we're missing. I think the kid that's hilarious is I want to say it's either the Blazers or it's the Raptors pick. The Oriental kid. He's hilarious, dude. He's so funny. He was literally on the plane eating McDonald's, and he was like, "This
Yeah,
is
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, this is this is the life of like an 18-year-old, or this is a birthday of a draft pick or whatever." But nah, I mean, yeah, I think it's got to be Cooper Flagg.
So from one, I think to start there, I think it'll be Cooper Flag because if he averages, which he can, because if you just look at how their roster's constructed, even with Klay Thompson being there, I think Klay averaged like 14 and a half points last year.
Hmm.
Um, is 80 going to give you 65, 70 games? Who knows? So it's like Cooper could average 19, 6 and 5 or 19, 5 and 6 there and help get that team to the playoffs. And if he does that as a rookie, like you said, with the hype, it's going to be hard for him not to it's going to be hard for him not to win the Rookie of the Year. I even
Yeah.
go back to Zion's rookie year during the COVID year, and Ja had a lights out, explosive, dynamic rookie year. Got the Grizz in the playoff game and got play in game and got there in the playoffs. Zion missed like 30 games, and they still almost wanted to give to him because I think Zion averaged like 19, 5 and 5, and he got
Yeah.
them into the playoffs as well. And he missed 30 games, but Zion had significantly more hype than Ja coming in. And Ja was even still a very hype player. I think he was a third pick in that draft because I think it was Zion
Yeah.
and RJ than Ja that year. So I think he's with him being the front runner, and he's going to be on a probably a 6 to 8, 6 to 9 seed playoff play-in team. I think that's going to bode well for him, and he's going to have the keys to the ship pretty early, and he's going to have great veteran leadership around him.
Uh-huh.
Again, I think it's going to be invaluable that he's going to have two NBA championship teammates, legends, guys who are going to be first ballot Hall of Famers. Well, maybe I don't know about Anthony Davis being first ballot, but he'll be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Actually, he's going to be first ballot because I think people forget the basketball Hall of Fame is the basketball Hall of Fame. It's
Uh-huh.
not the NBA Hall of Fame.
Nah, it's
They
about
they
yeah.
take the totality of your career, and I think with Anthony being first round draft pick, national champion, national player of the year from
Uh-huh.
Kentucky, and then going into the NBA, doing all that, he'll be first ballot Hall of Famer. Having AD and Clay and Kyrie, three NBA championship teams in his organization is going to help him out a lot. And he has
Dude, and they got a
as his coach.
yeah, and they got a young stud. And dude, people forget about Derek Lively. Like
Yeah,
Derek
yeah,
Lively has a chance to be a perennial all-star.
yeah, 100%.
You're talking about think about how much pressure that's going to take off. Not only let me not say pressure. How much of a load off that's going to be of him on the defensive side when you have AD and Derek Lively. Like, bro, what? Like, what are we talking about? Like, the Mavericks could be nutty. I mean,
Yeah,
so
they
yeah,
still
I'm
have Gafford.
curious. Oh yeah, dude, it's insane. Like their big man, like their front court is nuts.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think the only thing that I have a hesitation. I saw this is that with Kyrie being out, they don't
mhm.
have a primary ball handler currently on their roster.
Yeah, dude,
So
but
it's like,
moves are being made.
yeah, and moves will be currently how they're saying, and I'm assuming they'll make a quality move to get a ball. They're going to have a
Uh-huh.
ball handler because they don't have a true primary ball handler on their team. But if they end up not being able to get anybody, I mean, they're going to get somebody, but if they don't end up getting anybody of note, that could be their downfall of their team because that could make them struggle getting into offense. Because asking a rookie to help bring up, even though he did it at Duke, but asking a rookie to be a primary
Yeah.
ball handler, bring the ball, because Clay can't do it anymore. AD
Uh-uh.
can't do it. That's not what they do. And so that would be my only knock against them. And you don't want a rookie turning over the ball a lot because that could shoot down his confidence a lot.
Yeah. One thing about this too, James Harden opted out of his player option
Yeah.
to not go back to the Clippers. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the NBA right now. It's going to be interesting to follow over the next couple weeks and months to see kind of how it all shakes out, and then we'll kind of go from there.
All right, brother. So let's move on to some just more, I guess, theoretical, more fun topics.
Yeah,
Um,
some bleacher talk. Let's go to some
yeah.
bleacher talk.
All right. So let's go NFL first. No, let's stick with NBA.
Okay.
Who, no order, but give me
Okay.
your top 10 NBA guys. So basically, give me your first and second all team NBA players for going into next season.
Of course, number one's got to be Shea. That's the first guy that comes to mind. After him, so I got Shea, I got Jokic. Go ahead and give me Giannis. I think Giannis is still a top 10 player in the league. Um, give me Luca. And give me, as bad as I hate to say it, LeBron's got to be in there somewhere. I think he has to. Um,
You're halfway.
give me Anthony Edwards. Give me Tatum.
Tatum won't be there next year.
Okay, so we're talking about just next year's. Anthony Edwards. Give me. Hmm. I'm running out on this last little leg. Let me have. Who do I want? I think I see, and this is the problem. I feel like where the NBA's at right now, you have like this like level of guys that are kind of stepping away, and then this level of guys kind of coming in. So this like 7 through 10 range could be interchangeable. Like I want to say Wemby, but it's like he hasn't won. Like I'm like, dude, you haven't like.
You're already having health issues.
Yeah, like I want to see you in the playoffs, bro. Like I want to see what you can do. I guess give me Wimby. Um, I'm trying to think of another guy. Like for me, like I personally I want to put your guy in it. I want to put Paulo in it. And then the other guy that I really want to, well, he's not going to be there next year either. But I was going to say like Tyrese or like Dame. Um, I don't know, man. That 10th guy could
Yeah, you have two
be.
spots left. You named eight.
Okay, so I've got 2 spots left. Go ahead and give me Cade. I think Cade's a top 10 player in the league today, going into next year as well. And go ahead and give me Steph.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like that 7, and I think you'll agree. Like that's, and I think a lot of listeners will agree. 7 through 10, man, it's so interchangeable. Like even like LeBron, like do you really want to put LeBron in the, like you have to like respect wise, but at the same time it's like does he do, is he still, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So I agree with your whole list. I'm going not in any order, but
Yeah.
Luka, Jokic, Shea,
Uh-huh.
Giannis, Ant, Paolo. I'm at six. Um,
Hey, viewers, don't judge my thumb. It's short and stubby. Keep going. My bad.
Cade,
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
One of the one of the one of I'm gonna go KD because I think KD is gonna
Yeah.
get Houston to where a little bit one round further than they got this year.
Yeah. You got one more.
And then Steph or one of them is having a little bit of a drop off next year. It's going to be Steph or LeBron.
Okay.
One of them still going to be in there.
So you.
I'm going to guess it's going to be Steph is the odd man out of that because I think LeBron will get more help in LA than Steph gets with the Warriors.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because like Jimmy Butler and Jimmy Butler are the same age and like he's got a lot of wear and tear, a lot of miles, a lot of hard miles
Yeah.
going on there. And I just Draymond, like he has a lot of hard miles there, and they have this weird like old guard, new guard shift there, and Curve starting to trying to integrate thing. But so I think Steph is the odd man out, and I think like the Warriors struggled to make the playoffs this year. They
Hmm.
could have this same lineup, and they could miss the playoffs next year.
Yeah. So pretty much you had Donovan Mitchell over Wemby.
No, so I had
Because I didn't hear you say Wemby.
I didn't take
Just
out I didn't have Wemby and I didn't have Steph.
yeah.
So I have Donovan Mitchell in there, and I have KD in there.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I think
And dude,
I think KD's job will be really easy with the Warriors.
Yeah, and dude, if you want me to be honest with you, like I think you mean with the Rockets.
Oh, with the Rockets, yeah.
Yeah. If you want me to be honest with you, I think next year, like if we're like, and I hope we're still doing this, and I hope we have more listeners and viewers next year at this time. But I think that next year, like we're talking about a whole different top 10, like without a KD, without a Steph, without a LeBron, like we're talking about a whole different top 10.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so with that covered, let's do, I think, even a little bit more relevant because training camp is like 3 weeks away right now.
Yeah, hold on real quick before we go to this next one. Viewers, drop your top 10s. We want to see your top 10s in the NBA. I would love to see what some of these people think that listen, if they're kind of on par or not. Like, I think that'd be interesting. Kind of, I want to go back and forth with somebody and tell me why you think somebody. So yeah, but go ahead, my fault.
By the way, I posted a video about Kobe slander on my YouTube this week, and I was going back and forth with this guy about the whole T-Mac and Gilbert comments from this past week. And my whole thing about the Kobe slander, I don't know how close you've been following it. It's just that the whole foundation of my argument for me is that I'm not one of these guys that's elevated Kobe since he's passed away.
Mm-mm.
I don't think Kobe's the GOAT. I don't think he's a top three player all time. Love Kobe, but he is a replica of Jordan. So it's hard when the guy's almost a splitting image replica of somebody, and there's still a poor version of that for me to elevate them into even a top five all time.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just I don't think some of these guys like Gilbert and Tracy McGrady, and I'm a T Mac fan.
Mm-hmm.
I watched T Mac play 30 plus games when he was with the Orlando Magic in person with my own eyes. Watched him drop 63, watched him the Christmas game go off versus LeBron. Like I saw those games in person, in the lower bowl. Like I'm a T Mac guy through and through. Up until Paolo came into the league, Tracy McGrady was my favorite basketball player that I watched with my own eyes of all time. But I do not believe if Kobe was still alive that they would be saying the things that they're saying about Kobe.
Yeah.
I just feel like Kobe would shut it down. First of all, I feel like respect why they wouldn't even say it because they know Kobe would have a strong enough rebuttal and just his alpha male attitude. Kobe wouldn't go for it,
Mm-hmm.
and he would shut it down if they did have the balls to say it.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. But
All right. So next kind of fantasy topic
mm.
is top. I talked about this a lot of gym talk, barbershop talk. Um, top 10 fantasy football players going into this year.
If you want me to be honest, there's only one quarterback in my top 10, and that's going to be Lamar.
Okay.
As far as I don't think Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen are the level they are with the legs anymore to really get you those fantasy points to be in the top 10. Like, I think they can,
Yeah.
but I feel like they are more in a team kind of environment. Like, without Lamar Jackson, the Ravens aren't the Ravens. Am I making sense? Like, are you tracking what I'm saying?
Well, I put Patrick Mahomes in his own category
Yes.
because I think Lamar, Jaden, Josh, and Jalen are
Mm-hmm.
all legitimately at different levels dual threat quarterback, especially because Josh has so many rushing touchdowns. And whether
He
they're touch
does.
push and all that, like that still factors in. So I think those are only the true four legitimate dual threat. If you want to throw in a Justin Fields or whatever in there.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that, but I think do you take Josh Allen off the Bills and they're drafting first 5 years in a row?
Yeah, no, there's
No.
no shit. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
there's no doubt.
Yeah.
Like, but to me, Lamar's the only one in the top 10.
Well, this
And
is your
and I
top 10. I'm not going to argue with
yeah,
you on your top
yeah,
10.
no. So
No.
and I pulled up a list of like all like NFL, like I pulled up like a fantasy list. The next guy that I and this is in no order, but it's definitely going to be Jahmyr Gibbs, with all the all-purpose yards that he gets, for the Lions. And then I would take Saquon with the Eagles, 100%. You can't not take Saquon with the Eagles. I would take Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase So what does that give me? 5? I'm at 5 right now. Um, Go ahead and give me Bucky Irving because I think Bucky Irving is going to be a stud this year in fantasy. It's my kind of hot take. I think a healthy Puka Nacua is going to be in that as well. It pains me because he was shit for me last year, but I want to say Amon-Ra St. Brown. But I think he is. I don't think you can put Christian McCaffrey in that list anymore. I'm trying to think of who else I had on there.
Yeah, two more.
I'm trying to think of the other guys that I had, and I can't think of them. I know it was a running back and a wide receiver because I didn't have another quarterback when we were talking about this that popped into my head. I mean, okay, go ahead and give me Jaden McDaniels. I'll throw him into the top 10, and then I will also take. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can put him in there. I don't think he's good enough. But I want to say Drake London, but I don't think he's in the top 10, but I want to say Drake London because he is. I mean, he put up numbers last year. It felt like every time like I looked at our league, he was putting up numbers.
Yeah. And I think he's actually going to do significantly better with Michael Penix throwing to him versus Kirk Cousins.
Uh-huh.
All right, we're actually gonna. That's one thing we're gonna do like an all fantasy football show leading into the year.
Yes.
We'll probably do like two. We'll probably do one when preseason starts, and then one right before the season, right when everybody's drafting their teams, or right around when everybody's drafting their teams. I like your list. I like Bucky Irving as a bold pick.
Yeah.
There's always a couple running backs that come out of absolutely nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a rookie who is a top 10, if not top 6 or 7 running back this year. If not top 5 running, there's going to be one rookie that is a top 5 running back this year. There is almost every year.
Every year.
So I'm going to go in no order. I'm going to go Lamar and Jaden.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen is probably just going to miss my list, but I actually like Jalen probably more this year than I did last year. I think Saquon, I mean, history again and again and again and again and again tells us guys rush for 2,000 yards. There's a precipitous drop off the following year. And it happened even with Derrick Henry when he had 2,000 yards. So and Saquon is not a great catching running back, which I think hurts him. He's good. He's solid, actually. He doesn't pass block all that great.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Jaden Lamar,
Mm-hmm.
Bijan, who I'm surprised you didn't say.
That's a good one.
I think Jameer is going to flourish because I think Montgomery is going to get even less touches now that Ben Johnson. I think they're going to ride Jameer Gibbs,
Yeah.
and Montgomery is just going to be giving Jameer Gibbs breathers whenever he needs it. CD, he's
Okay.
got pickers next to him. He's no more double teams. Dak stays healthy. Better offensive line. Defense is okay, but they're going to have to score a lot of points. Jamar, Justin Jefferson. What about 7? I'm going to say this. I don't think he's gonna. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is gonna be a top guy. He's gonna have number 2, Trevor Lawrence, but he has a better offensive play caller, and I think Tank Bigsby. Is it Tank Big? Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
Bigsby.
Tank
Yep.
Bigsby is going to be a top 10 running back this year. And they still got Travis Etienne as their backup running back.
There's two that I wish I would have looked over here to see, but go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm at 8.
You're at 8. Yep.
I think because he's still playing alongside a perennial MVP, I got to go Derrick Henry.
Okay. Last one.
I think if he stays healthy, no suspension, Rashee Rice.
Okay.
Because Rashee
That's
Rice in 4 games last year was, I think, 3rd in fantasy points behind Chase and Justin Jefferson. Because Justin Jefferson got a scorching start last year with nobody expecting Sam Darnold to be like that. So I think the Chiefs are going to have a top 3 offense this year, and Rashee Rice is going to be heading that storm. And there's going to be if everybody starts the year healthy, there's going to be no way to double team anybody on the Chiefs offense if Hollywood and Xavier Worthy are there.
So I like your 10. I do like your 10. You hit the top 5 on I'm on Fantasy Pros.
Yeah.
You knocked out the top 5. You had sorry, you actually knocked out the top 7. And then you took well, we both did, but they got Lamar as 26th overall right now.
Yeah.
And then we also took Jaden, which was 30, and then you took Rashee Rice, who they got as 41. Now the two that I were thinking of was Lad McConkey.
Yeah. I had I argued in his favor this year.
Yeah, Lad
I'll say,
McConkey.
wait, before you say the next one,
Okay.
I I have a running bet for a pair of Jordans with Andre, and I have another brewing bet with somebody else in the gym, and I won't say what it is because I don't want to jinx it. But I have another potential bet. I think the same guy's going to take it because I took the bet that Brock Bowers is going to be
Mm,
um, he's going to be tight end one this year. Trey
okay.
McBride is great. Loveland, like the rookies, all the Kate, like all these guys are. Brock Bowers with Geno Smith throwing the ball to him, and Ashton Genty is just a 1,000-yard rusher, 8 touchdown
Mm-hmm.
guy, and Geno Smith can just be 15% better than Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, which he absolutely is. Brock Bowers might only be the top a top. He not only will he not be just top number one tight end,
Mm-hmm.
Brock Bowers could finish top 8 in out of all pass catchers. Period.
I like it. The other one that I had that I wish I would have thought of was Malik Neighbors. I think Malik Neighbors is going to be a top 10 guy this year. With Justin Fields. No, sorry, not Justin Fields. Not Justin Fields. They got
Jackson Dart,
Jackson Dart.
Russell.
That's what I'm thinking of. I was wrong, Jay. My fault.
I think the thing that scared me about the league neighbors is the early concussions already.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had a concussion and he had to miss a whole another game for a concussion. I think he missed like 3 games. His numbers when he plays are like through the roof.
Yeah.
League neighbors already scares me with kind of the injury bug. I mean, you can say, oh, well, Justin Jefferson every year misses 2 to 3 games. Very true. But Malik Neighbors is even earlier in his career. And for me, the choice was Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. And I just feel like Brian Thomas Jr. just has more help, better quarterback, better offensive play caller, way better running backs, probably equal offensive line. But Malik Neighbors will play in a better, much better. I personally have Washington and the Eagles both making the playoffs, and Dallas like making a playoff-ish run towards the end of the year. So like they're going to have an even harder, way harder division than uh,
Yeah.
Jacksonville is too.
That's true.
So
It'll
that
be
was
curious. I'm
so
curious to see.
yeah. But that I was thinking Malik Neighbors when I was arguing this week a lot. I was just thinking, man, Travis Hunter is just okay. Like, and Trevor Lawrence stays healthy. Like, Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be 130 catches, 1,700 yards, 12, 13, 14 touchdowns. Easily. Easily.
The problem is Trevor Lawrence has to stay healthy.
Yeah.
He has to.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, yeah. Well,
Brian Thomas did top 10 numbers last year with uh, McCorkle Jones throwing to him last year
yeah,
for 2/3 of the year.
yeah. I'm curious. I'm curious to see how these work out.
But I like both of our lists. All right, let's go to the last topic at hand. We're right at an hour already.
All right.
So let's finish with this. A little bit more fantasy talk, right? Thank y'all listeners for bearing with us. Like I said, we're in the dog days of the summer now. Topics are sparse. And there was news about Malik Beasley being caught up in a gambling, but the news is so new that there's not a whole lot to talk about. So we'll save that for the next podcast we do. Or if the news we end up getting more information before Gavin's back, I may
Yeah.
just do my own little short video in between, and we'll talk about that in the future. But we want to throw a little baseball in there, and we're going to do our all-time AL and NL starting lineup. So we're gonna do 1 through 9 with the closer. I'm gonna take the NL. Gav's gonna take the AL, which I think is a little bit more appropriate. He's a Boston fan, so I wouldn't be surprised if he has 5 or 6 Red Sox on this all.
No,
But he's gonna take AL. I'm gonna take NL. Gav, you want to go first or second?
no, I can go first. I can go
All right.
first.
All right.
Out of the gate, we're gonna start. We'll start with the number 2 position. Actually, you know what? Let's take that back. Let's start with the number 1 position on the box score with our starting pitcher, and we're gonna take Roger Clemens. Prime Roger Clemens. I think people forget he was an absolute.
All right. So let's do this.
Okay.
When you say prime, you say a player, and they played on multiple teams.
Yeah.
Give me what team. You don't have
Okay.
to give me a year, but give me what
Yeah.
team they
Red
played for.
Sox. Yeah. Red Sox. Roger Clemens.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Going behind the dish. This is a tough one for me. Go ahead and give me Yankees Jorge Posada.
Okay.
I think he deserves to be in that realm. Going at first base, I will take David Ortiz, Red Sox David Ortiz.
Okay.
Second base. Second base, and I want to keep it to primary positions, what they primarily played, and what they did like as a primary. But for second base, there's a piece of me that wants to take Dustin Pedroia. There's a piece of me that wants to take Dustin Pedroia. There's also, and I don't know why, another piece of me wants to take Whit Merrifield. And I think a lot of people forget like how good Whit Merrifield was, but I will take Dustin Pedroia in the second base category. Stop. You can kind of get you can throw out some names in the shortstop realm, but I think all time like, defensive shortstop guy kind of did it all. People call him I don't know. I mean, everybody wants to say Jeter. There's a lot of different guys that you could throw out into this category, but prime Hanley Ramirez, I think a lot of people forget was an absolute demon, and that would be the guy that I would want as my shortstop every day. Third base, go ahead and give me the vacuum at third base, and I want Brian Robinson from the Orioles. Brian Robinson. Left field, I'll take Ted Williams. People don't remember how absolutely just terrorizing that guy was, and then went away to war, and then decided to come back and still was just an absolute demon. Center field. There's some good ones in center field.
There's only 2 right answers though.
I think you got to take Griffey. I think you got to. Correct me if I'm wrong. Griffey never won a ring, though. Correct?
Correct. Made it to the World Series once, never
Yeah.
never won a ring.
Yeah, I would like to see him win a ring. And then right field, I will take. Right field can get tough, but I really like Vladimir Guerrero, Senior, and give me like Expos Vladimir Guerrero, like old school.
Yeah.
DH, all time DH. I don't know. I mean, I have a problem throwing in like really old guys. Like, I think Ted Williams could hit in any in any era. Like, I think the guy was just a hitter. I don't know what it is about Babe Ruth, but like I'm just like I don't know. But DH, go ahead.
Because I actually saw this argument today, Babe Ruth, and I think these guys have a very valid point. With almost every other big time, even Ted Williams,
Yeah.
because Ted Williams played after the integration. Babe Ruth never had to play against black players. And you had with Josh Gibson and all these other guys playing.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that even Ted Williams got to play against some black players, some Latino players, like makes this argument like he's just in any era, just like LeBron. You throw LeBron in any era, he would have been fine. He would have been great. He would have been an all-timer. But I think people do get held up on Babe Ruth even over like Hank Aaron, because Hank Aaron played when the league was integrated and Babe Ruth only played against certain players.
Yeah, he only played against white Joe Schmoes, dude. Like you can say it, like it's all good. Ain't no love lost over here. But my DH would have been Mike Trout.
Okay.
Yeah, my DH would have been Mike Trout, and then my closer, of course, probably the best closer to ever do it, Mariano.
Yeah. I like the team.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to throw in some honorable mentions?
Yes, I would. Behind the plate, I would like to throw in Salvador Perez. I
Really?
think, yeah, dude. I think people forget like how good. I think Salvador Perez has a chance to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like people
I
forget
don't
that.
disagree with that. I don't disagree.
Yeah, yeah. People,
I'm just thinking peaks.
you're thinking peaks. If I'm thinking peaks behind the
Yeah,
plate,
I'm thinking peak and career. But you didn't name a guy who I would, if you're gonna bring up catchers, who I would 100% have in there at minimum as an honorable mention.
like a Joe Mauer, you thinking Joe Mauer or no?
No.
Really?
I mean, that's not who I was thinking of, but you can even throw Joe Mauer in there.
You're thinking honorable mention catcher
Because who was your catcher?
Posada.
I'm thinking Ivan Rodriguez.
See, and I struck like I do. Ivan Rodriguez, like Pudge was the man. Do not get me wrong. Pudge was the man. But are you taking Pudge over Posada?
So you look at Pudge. Let me look up his batting average.
Okay.
His
All right.
batting
You
average
look up.
his batting average might be higher than what I think it is, but if I think his batting average, he wasn't a home run guy. He
No.
did drive and runs, but if his batting average is as good for his career as I think it is, and I
Mm-hmm.
get that defense, no doubt I'm taking him over Posada.
Okay. All right. You'll take him over Posada, and we'll. All right. Yeah. Do that. Do that, and I got Posadas pulled up, so we can absolutely do this.
Yeah, all right, so it is. So I thought Pudge's career batting average was 297 to 296.
Okay.
And I'm taking that with 59 gold gloves. I'm 100% taking Pudge Rodriguez over Jorge, who is almost purely known for his offense.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm taking Jorge, 17 years in the big leagues, career 273 hitter, with a career. Let me see here.
How many career hits?
Career hits, he had 1,664.
Pudge had 2,844 career hits.
Damn. Okay, I sleep on Pudge. That's on me. That's on me, ladies
How
and
many career
gentlemen.
home runs?
How many career home runs from Posada?
Yeah.
275.
Pudge 311.
Pudge also played a lot longer than Posada. Posada did 17 years.
Pudge had 21 years.
Yeah, Pudge.
But,
I mean, regardless,
well,
but I'm taking.
that's why I'm saying as an honorable
Yeah.
mention, it's hard for me
Yeah.
not to put Pudge.
Yeah, like, and there's a lot of guys that you could throw in that like honorable mention list. Like, I mean, pitcher wise.
Give me 3 honorable mentions. Give me 2 position players and a pitcher.
Oh, pitcher wise, it would have to be Pedro. Like, you would have to throw in Red Sox Pedro. That was the most dominant pitcher. Probably, he was dominant for his time. Position player wise, I'm trying to think of like a shortstop, dude, and I can't think of anybody else at the shortstop position. And then I'm also thinking back to like, I'm thinking like outfielders, and I'm thinking of like the first, like Teixeira, like Mark Teixeira pops into my mind.
Yeah, great.
But then prime, like huge honorable mention, like Texas Rangers Josh Hamilton was absolutely nutty.
We don't peak yet.
Yeah, peak Josh Hamilton was absolutely nutty. So that would kind of be. I mean, they're so interchangeable. Like
Right.
I think next time we'd have to do like the next time we try to get to this, we'd have to do like a 2000s, 2010s.
Yeah.
And I think you could make some really damn good teams on like 2000s and 2010s.
You don't like A-Rod?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to throw A-Rod in there. Like, you'd have to.
I mean, Texas Rangers, A-Rod, steroids and no steroids, 3 straight MVPs, 3 straight 50 home run seasons.
I guess.
3 straight 140 RBI seasons.
Yeah,
I guess. 3 straight gold gloves. That's shortstop.
Yeah, I guess you got to throw A-Rod in there.
Yeah.
I mean, as an honorable mention. I mean, okay, but let me
Yeah.
ask you this question. I forget who my third baseman was. Who did I put at 3B? Oh, are you taking A-Rod over the vacuum at third for all time? Like all time? Like you're
At
talking
third, no. At
defense?
third, no. Because
Okay, but
I,
you're
I put A
classifying
Rod
him
in the
as a
all time
shortstop.
shortstop quarter category.
Okay, then I would take, see, and I'm young enough that I remember A-Rod primarily as a third baseman.
Okay, yeah.
So that's like our little age gap right there.
Yeah, I saw A Rod. I didn't see A Rod get called up. I saw A Rod's first season with the Mariners in like '97,
Okay.
but I watched if you go back and watch the Yankees and like it was like 96, I think in 97, yeah, it was 97 Yankees Mariners ALCS when that was when Griffey they got the base hit and Griffey rounded third and slid and
Yeah.
that's that series. Go
Okay.
watch that series because that's where Randy Johnson, who would be my honorable mention as a pitcher, Pedro's great. Oh, I'm only saying Randy because you did say Randy, you did say Pedro, but that's where like Randy comes in to like relief pitch. A Rod had got called up like 2 months before, and like he doesn't have any facial hair. Griffey's already prime Griffey, but then on the Yankee side, like you got second year Jeter, like third year Posada, like just stud lineup like through and through. All right, I have NL. So I guess I'll start off with pitcher. It's hard. Gotta go. I gotta go with the pure. I like dominance in my life.
Hmm.
Not I like to be dominant. I don't like to be dominated. So I gotta
Yeah,
go
yeah.
Bob. I gotta go Bob Gibson all time.
That's solid. That's solid.
All time starting pitcher, and I have a great honorable mention as a pitcher already. So I gotta go Bob Gibson, not the one. I have to go. I guess I have to go. I can't not go Johnny Bench as a
Yeah, no.
catcher.
No.
All right, Johnny Bench at the catcher. First base, you have to go Albert Pujols. Second, there's a lot of great second basemen on my
Hmm.
team. I want probably go Jeff Kent.
That's a good one. It's a blast from the past. That's a
Mid
good
mid
one.
mid 2000 or sorry, early 2000 Jeff Kent backing up hitting behind Barry Bonds was pretty nutty. All right. Shortstop, I gotta go peak, and I know I'm probably gonna get hated on for this, but I gotta go. It's probably personal. I can't do it. It's Ozzie Smith. I was gonna
Okay.
go with another guy that I knew personally, but my shortstop's got to be Ozzie Smith.
Okay. Okay.
Third base.
See, and there was another peak that I would have been okay with at shortstop. Ozzy would have been mine, but there was another peak that I would have been like, okay, if you would have thrown that name out there, I would have been okay with it.
Barry Larkin.
I don't think Barry Larkin was the offensive player that this guy was. Like this guy, like I'm talking like peak, like I'm talking one season. Jose Reyes, dude. People forget Jose Reyes peak on the Mets.
I say
I'm
Barry
taking
Larkin.
him over. I'm taking him over Barry Larkin.
I say Barry Larkin because Barry Larkin is one of the few shortstop MVPs of all time.
Okay. Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think Barry Larkin and A Rod have the only two MVPs as a shortstop all time.
Okay.
Third base, Mike Schmidt. Like
Yeah.
Chipper's like breathes down his neck very hard, and I actually watched Chipper play from D-Land, Florida. Shout out to D-Land. Chipper is a legend, and I think my dad's younger version would appreciate this. My dad in his older days. Shout out to my dad who listens to the podcast every time. Chipper's a legend because he married not one, but two Hooters of the girl, like national Hooters of the girls. Fun
Yeah.
fact, all time.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
first
National
wife was
Hooters
like the
girls.
national calendar Hooters girl when like Hooters was like the thing for like Hooters and Sports Illustrated swimsuit were like what OnlyFans girls are.
Yeah. No shit.
And yeah, if you're staying out of Playboy Maxim, but we'll keep this PG. So I got outfield.
Yep.
Outfield's pretty easy. Left field, Barry Bonds. Center field, Willie Mays. Right field, Hank Aaron.
Who's your DH? See, I would have flipped. I would have flipped something. See, I think that personally, I think all time, I think the NL is better than the AL all time. I
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
I 100% do.
Well, who you put?
I would have put Hank Aaron as my DH, and I would have put Roberto Clemente in right field.
I mean, if I'm thinking about defense, then I would 100% agree with you.
It's just, dude, Roberto Clemente is just Roberto Clemente.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, 100%. I'm not disagreeing.
I
And I can
mean,
just throw Roberto Clemente as my DH then.
you could. Yeah. Okay.
Like I can't. The only other guy I'm going for DH just because I'd want it, and it's just peak baseball is Mark McGwire.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew
Like
that was coming.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
surprised. Okay. So give me your closer.
So NL closers are different.
Mm-hmm.
You can go with the all-time guy that played for the Brewers. You can go for like peak mean guy who came up with the Braves who's still playing. Oh no, I got to go Eric Gagne. I got to go Eric Gagne.
I like Gagne, and
Eric
see,
Gagne was just he was lights out for what, like an 8-year run.
Eric Gagne is acceptable. The other one that's acceptable is Billy Wagner. Billy Wagner is acceptable on
Yeah, I wasn't
that.
even thinking about him. Billy Wagner.
Trevor, back in the day, Trevor Hoffman
Yeah, that
would have
Trevor
been
Hoffman was out. I mean, he's the best closer all time numbers wise.
yeah, there's no doubt. Okay, give me your 3 honorable mentions. Because there's one that I feel like you're kind of, I'm like surprised you didn't say him, but I don't know. I'm curious. Go ahead.
So my honorable mention pitcher would be Greg Maddux.
Yes, absolutely.
Probably for fun, even though I actually never really thought he was that great of a player, but he was fun. But we're talking about All-Star game. And that's another thing we're talking about All-Star game fun. So I'm talking about people who put on a show.
Yeah.
So for my honorable mention for this All-Star all-time lineup, I'm going Sammy Sosa.
That was the one
Yeah.
that I was surprised you hadn't had in there.
So I got to go Sammy Sosa for an All-Star game. But if I'm going All-Star defense, I would throw in Torrey Hunter because he's the only guy I've seen rock 2 home runs, and one of them being Barry Bonds'. Shout out to Torrey Hunter, Torrey with 2 eyes. And then honorable mention infielder, because I went with Ozzie Smith, I would have to go Barry Larkin, because Barry Larkin's like 14-time All-Star, won an
Yeah.
MVP, and played for the Reds after like the big red machine, which was still a big deal for them. And Barry Larkin is still highly regarded by MLB baseball circles to this day. But if I threw in like a fun one in there, you talk about like short peak. I don't know if you remember, but he's one of my favorite players, Memphis native Dan Uggla.
Ooh.
Right? Like 3rd year Dan Uggla hitting home runs. No, I say Braves. 3rd year Marlins Dan Uggla hitting home runs in the football stadium with Mike Stanton before he became Giancarlo Stanton. That was one of the funnest times to watch baseball for a small market, relatively irrelevant team.
Yeah, and see, I tried to do like a mix between like all time and then like short peaks.
Yeah.
Like with the Hanley
Yeah.
Ramirez. Dude, the other one from the NL that had a short peak but was fun to watch for a little bit was Eric Thames
Oh,
for the Brewers.
yeah.
That was fun to watch.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
fun to
I mean, if
watch.
you're doing like peaks and guys I enjoy watching, and again, maybe I'm a little like biased because I met him in college at the College World Series, and he plays for my team, the Brewers, but it's Ryan Braun.
Yeah, Ryan Braun, yeah. He was solid.
He had an MVP year, so.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
you're talking NL outfielders, and you're just talking about a whole different class of ball players.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
But if I'm gonna go one guy that I thought personally had a great peak and doesn't get talked about enough, he's not a Hall of Fame player, although I think he was a Hall of Fame talent for about 2 guys for about 5 years. Troy Tulowitzki on the Blue Jays and Cargo on the Rockies.
Dude, even Troy Tulowitzki on the damn Rockies was solid.
Yeah,
Even Troy Tulowitzki on the damn Rockies was solid. Dude, even Troy Tulowitzki on the damn Rockies was solid. Dude, even Troy Tulowitzki on the damn Rockies was solid. He was solid on the Rockies.
I guess Troy Tulowitzki on the Rockies and the Blue Jays.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
that
a
little
five,
3 year
6 year
span.
run. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Him,
3 year
him and him,
span.
him and Evan Longoria.
Oh, that's a good one. Evan Longoria is a good one. There's another good one that we forget about is Adrian Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great
He dude was
peak.
a stud.
That's a great peak.
Yeah.
Another good one we forget about is Carlos Beltran. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Thank everybody for listening to the our rant and rave about our fantasy teams.
Yeah. It was fun, man. Great job tonight. Hopefully we were just entertaining for y'all. Didn't have a lot of big facts and stories, but we're just trying to keep consistent, keep this thing rolling. And we
Hell
thank y'all
yeah.
for tuning in. God,
Yeah.
brother, you have a good rest of your weekend. Enjoy your work week. And when you actually enjoy your vacation, and
Thank you,
hope y'all
sir.
have fun in Savannah.
Yeah, while I'm on vacation, y'all drop y'all's list. Drop a list down, and I wanna read them.
Yeah. All right, brother. You have a good
All right,
one.
man.
Peace.
Peace, peace.